when we first invested, we invested in pure play networks like Twitter and Twitch, thinking that we would just invest in whole new things. But what we began to believe was that networks would reimagine every sector of the economy. And so that caused us to get energized around network transportation, for example. And that's why we invested in Lyft and then cruise automation for self-driving cars and more recently applied intuition. My view of cryptocurrency and commodities is that it's network capitalism brought to money and commodities and financial services and products.
So looking forward, there's a few trends for us to think about. The first is that we're going to see the separation of fundraising and distribution. ICOs really accomplish these two things. They fundraise for the company that is issuing the token, and they distribute tokens to an early set of users. It's really interesting, and it's worked well so far. But those two pieces do not necessarily need to be coupled. You do not have to fundraise and distribute at the exact same time. So what I think we'll increasingly see is a large number of sales conducting only private sales to large investors, and then airdropping these tokens, giving tokens away to users in much smaller amounts. Because at the end of the day, most investors are not planning on using millions of dollars worth of that token on the network. And at the end of the day, most users don't need to have thousands and thousands of dollars in the network. These are two different sets of people. And so we'll see these sales start to fundraise privately and raise large amounts of money from private investors, and then distribute publicly much smaller amounts to people, potentially even for free.
I think that this space is so immensely full of big ideas, new thinking, different ways of looking at the world, that the only possible way to stay on top of it and figure out your perspective within it is curation and trying to find the best signal through all the noise.